Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Self-Made with Dee Brown CEO. I am your guest host for the day. I am Omarosa Manigault Newman, the Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the P3 Group, Inc. And today I have a very special treat for you. I get to have a discussion with the one and only, he is an author, a producer, a talk show host, and philanthropist, amongst so many other things. But he is also the host of this show, and he's allowing me to put him in the hot seat today. So everyone, welcome, Dee Brown CEO.
Oh,
welcome to your show.
Thank you, and thank you for standing in for me.
I'm so glad I invited you.
I know, right?
No,
I wouldn't be here without you.
I'm going to tell you, your journey from the Mississippi Delta is inspiring. Why don't we just start there? Dee, have you always wanted to be in business for yourself?
Oh, from a really early age, I think there was always something different about the way that I thought and processed things. I think I became a leader really early in life. You know, I just kind of, even within my family, I kind of took a step up, and I felt like helped lead my family, even though I was a teenager at the time, because I lived with my mother and my grandfather. My grandfather was older, suffered from diabetes, had both his legs amputated, confined to a wheelchair. My mom worked long hours, 12, 16-hour shifts. And so at an early age, I saw my mom, working, and I never saw her get sick. As a kid, never saw her take a day off work. And later in life, I realized that she didn't have a backup plan. So if she didn't go out and make it happen, being a single mother, trying to take care of her sick dad, trying to take care of two sons, as well as her brother, if she didn't make it happen, it really was not going to happen in the family. And so I think just watching my mom put in all those long hours, watching her never complain, always cheerful, and always making things happen for us, I think that's what inspired me to want to do something bigger and better than just, punch the clock and be average.
Now, what was your first major deal? I understand that you made a lumber deal on one of your first land deals. I
was about 18, maybe 19 years old, and I had an uncle who was fascinated with real estate. The truth of the matter is that he didn't know anything about real estate, but he was a very, very ambitious, retired principal, and he was really, really fascinated with the concept of trying to get into affordable housing and provide clean and sanitary housing for people in the community. And so I've spent a summer with him going to different meetings, being thoroughly confused. And I told him I wanted to go to real estate school. So he told me, he said, listen, we have 600 acres of land here. Wow. He said, you can do anything you want to do to generate money from the land, but you just can't sell the land. And I to this day, I have no idea how I came up with the concept, but the thought popped in my head to say, see if we can find somebody to buy the trees. I don't know if I saw a sign on the side of the road or whatever. So I called a company, asked them to come out, give me a quote on purchasing the trees, and boom, they bought the trees. And I'm like, okay, I'm 19 years old and I got tens of thousands of dollars.
A lumber transaction.
Lumber transaction.
And what'd you do with all the money?
Well, now, so my uncle gave me the checkbook, and he told me, hey, this is your money. You earned it. And so it was my first deal, and it was I can't remember the exact amount, but well north of $10,000. And so I'm just, 19 years old, and I go out and I go shopping. I buy some rims for my car. I buy some clothes or whatever. I don't know how many $1,000s I spent because I wasn't tracking it. But when my uncle got the bank statement at the end of the month, I just remember waking up in my bed and he was standing over me with his hand out. He said, give it here. And I was like, give me the checkbook.
Oh, no.
He said, jig's up.
Well, I like that you said close because you have an incredible sense of style. I just want to just talk a little bit about your mom.
Okay.
You have been inspired by her work ethic. You've been inspired by all that she has done for you and your family. How do you want to honor her memory?
Well, I think the best way to honor her memory is for me to do great things, not just for myself, not just for my kids and my grandkids, but also for the community. One of the things I think about all the time is that, when you leave this earth, what records will you have left behind that that are tangible, where people can put their hands on it and say, you made a difference, you impact lives, you changed communities, you made a difference in this world. And so I think her being a single mother, raising two boys, pulling herself out of poverty, because when she started off, she was an LPN, and so that wasn't a lot of money, especially when you're trying to take care of a sick dad and two young boys and a brother. And so she went back to school, became an RN, bettered her life, so she could give us, things that we wanted, not over and above things that we needed. And so I think that my success is really a testament to who she was as a person.
Well, one of the projects that you got to work on with your mom was the launching of the Clarksdale Advocate.
Yeah.
And she was just great about sending it and sharing it all to her friends. And she was so incredibly proud of you. How did that come about that you launched your own newspaper in your hometown?
Well, actually, I did that project as a labor of love, and it continues to be a labor of love for the community. I felt that the local newspaper, the local media, was not offering an outlet to stories within the community that were positive, inspirational stories.
That's right.
Now, of course, you have crime and you have despair and you have bad things that happen in communities. And I understand as a media outlet, you have to cover bad things from time to time. However, there are thousands of good things that happen within the community, and there was no outlet for those things to be showcased. And so by launching the Clarksdale Advocate, it's a nonprofit venture. I don't charge anyone for advertising. Everything is free. But what you have is every day you're seeing positive stories that are inspiring people.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids that are playing sports, the kids that are making A's, and
The educators.
Everybody deserves to be handed their flowers.
That's
when they're
right.
doing good. No one wants to look at crime and robberies and murder and death and shootings exclusively.
That's right.
Of course, community or public safety is a issue, and it's something that you have to cover. But I felt like this gives the people a vehicle to showcase the positive things that are in the community.
And that falls under the umbrella of self-made entertainment. You also launched a record label recently?
Yeah, I launched a record label.
Oh my gosh. There's so many things. And you have a Roku channel, Self-Made Entertainment as well?
Yes.
But there are two ventures that I want to talk about that most African Americans don't venture into.
Okay.
The first being the charter business for your yacht, and the second being a spirits business. So where should we start, Dee Brown?
Well, let's start at the charter
Okay.
business, because I think that serves as a kind of a pivotal moment within my business career, when I decided that I want to do something that would set us apart from other businesses. And so I got into the yacht business, and so I purchased a 100-foot luxury super yacht.
Well, before the 100-foot yacht, you had another yacht before.
Yeah, well, so I bought a 53-foot yacht
Okay.
to try to make sure, okay, am I comfortable with this? I had no boating experience, so I didn't know the totality of what I was getting myself into.
Okay.
So I started with the 53-footer, and we began to charter that. We use it for business development on the corporate side as well. And so I got into it, kept that yacht for about a year. At one point, I had both yachts at the same time.
Wow.
And then I went and I bought Self-Made, which is the brand. It was birthed with the acquisition of that particular vessel. And I named it Self-Made because I felt like it embodied the spirit of who I am and what you can become here in America. because what I realized is that it really doesn't matter where the social economic position that you start at. Mm-hmm. If you're willing to commit yourself, use your ingenuity, have strong work ethics, be consistent, you can change your life and the trajectory of other lives just by being committed here in America. And so self-made is a really an emblem of the American dream.
Well, and I know this because my first time on Self-Made, the amazing Self-Made Super Yacht, was with the National Bar Association. You were hosting this powerful group of African-American attorneys, and I was invited on your yacht, and I just looked around and there was just Black excellence everywhere. The second event I went on was a fundraiser for HBCUs.
Right.
So you are not just having this charter as a business, you also do a lot of just giving back to the community through your charter business.
Yes, it's a business development tool. It's a tool that we use to inspire hope into others, and it's a tool that we use to help raise money for worthy causes through our nonprofit philanthropic arm.
I want to talk a little bit about the Brown Foundation, but before we do, I have to learn about Self-Made Tequila, the ultimate premium sipping tequila that you launched. How did you get into the spirits business?
Well, I just woke up one day and I decided that I wanted to try to get into another lane, another business sector, and the spirits was the top of the list.
How many lanes are there in the Dee Brown Highway? Because
it's an ever-expanding highway of lanes.
So you're now in the beverage industry, but I want to know, you had a vision to enter the spirits industry. You didn't just put your name on it. You actually went to Tequila, Mexico to start this business.
Well, one of the things I learned from being a minority developer, at one time being a minority contractor, I learned that it's important as an African-American owned business to actually control your brand, to actually be in control of your destiny. And so I did not want to do a licensing deal or a brand ambassadorship deal on the tequila. I wanted to actually own the trademark. I wanted to actually import the product and have it produced with my spirit and passion behind the project.
And this is your recipe. You actually went and chose the flavors and the tones and the notes of the tequila?
I actually flew to Guadalajara, Mexico, then drove over to Tequila, Mexico, and at the foot of the tequila volcano, developed the flavor profile for what is now known as self-made tequila. And it's made from some of the finest blue agave in Mexico. Of course, a lot of people may not know this, because a lot of times people say, well, where's your tequila produced at? Well, tequila can only be produced in Mexico.
That's right.
However, if it's 100% agave, it must be produced and bottled in Mexico. So some of your cheaper tequilas, you can get the base of the tequila shipped other places and finish the product in the United States or in another country. But if it's a premium tequila, 100% agave tequila, it must be produced and bottled in Mexico.
Now, were there any challenges in this journey to getting your spirits business going?
Well, I think the biggest challenge was just going through all of the permitting and processes that were required in order to bring the concept to reality. And I don't know that it was necessarily challenging, but it was time consuming, and it was a process that I wasn't totally familiar with. And so I was able to bring on a compliance partner who actually run compliance for the brand. And so teaming with the compliance end, we were able to go through and actually develop the profile, gain all the importers permits, be able to do the state brand registrations, federal wholesale permits, and et cetera.
Wow. And how many different types of tequila do you offer?
So currently we have on the market, we have Reposado and Añejo.
What's the difference between the two for the viewers?
Okay, so let me kind of run through the other two. So we also have developed Blanco and an extra Añejo. And so the difference is Blanco, which we're going to bring to market in 2024. Blanco is aged less than 60 days. It's normally known as being clear or what we call silver tequila, but it's aged less than 60 days. Then you move to your reposado, which is aged between 3 months and 1 year. And that tequila is typically brown in color. Right? Because it's taken on the color of the oak barrels in which it's aged in. And then you have your añejo tequila, which is aged between 1 year and 3 years. And it's typically a little browner, a little more flavorful. And you have the extra añejo, which is aged more than 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And it's a little darker as well. So you have those different profiles, but in each of the instances with the self-made tequila, we make them with 100% blue agave. And so a lot of people don't realize from the time that an agave seed is planted, before it is entered into a tequila processing facility, it is 7 to 10 years before you can use it. And so it's a very timely process that allow you to create such a perfect product.
Now, you had a taste test before you brought your product to the market, and you came up against probably one of the toughest critics. So you had a group of family and friends come that you assembled, and none of them had any insight of which one of the products was yours.
Right.
Tell me how that went.
So we had about 50 family, friends, business associates gather for a blind tasting of the product. So we had dinner, and then we came out with the product we ran it up against 3 other
competitors,
premium brand tequilas that are very, very well known, but I won't I won't give the names up on this show. But in every category, we won. Our extra añejo won 22 to 1.
And who was the one?
The one that voted against it was my son in that particular instance.
Your namesake.
My namesake. But in every category, we won hands down. It wasn't close. Every category had about anywhere from 23 to 30 people tasting that category. And I think the closest one may have been, 14 to 9 or something like that, in favor of another brand. So we had a really, really strong showing there. And since that time, I've conducted numerous tastings. I've done a number of tastings on board Self-Made, where we bring in industry individuals that work in the industry. We bring individuals that are just consumers, and we allow them to sample the product. And I would tell you that the favorability rate is probably 99%.
Yes, I can attest. I actually was gifted a bottle of self-made tequila, and let's just say it's delicious. Why did you decide, though, to enter the food and beverage industry?
Well, I wanted to go particularly into spirits because I wanted to just do something different, and I wanted to do something where I could have a product that could deliver a national or worldwide impact. So I thought the spirits industry was a good way to go because it's something that we can distribute nationally, and eventually we could take it internationally as well. And so I chose tequila because when I did the research in terms of the various market segments of spirits and where the most opportunity for growth reside, I saw that the tequila space was one that was wide open for growth.
Now, where did the name Self-Made come from?
Well, again, it all started when I was trying to come up with the name of my second yacht. And I wanted to try, so I sat down and I was thinking about, okay, what do I want this to represent? Because, this yacht was different from the previous yacht. I mean, this yacht has 7 bedrooms, or what we call staterooms.
Yes.
In the yacht world. It has 7.5 bathrooms. There are 2 bathrooms in the master. Yes. Salon and 3-story fly bridge, and house 2 jet skis on the fly bridge. Has a self-contained crane that can take the jet skis and lower them and retrieve them from the water. And so I wanted to come up with a name that I felt like represented who I was or what I had become. And so I thought back to, my beginnings, growing up as a little kid, playing on dirt roads, walking barefoot in the streets, shooting basketball in milk crates, and I thought about that and thought about where I grew up. I grew up in a 2-bedroom house. It was me, my mom, my brother, my uncle, my grandfather, and my grandmother. It was 6 of us in a 2-bedroom house. Never thought anything to me, it was totally normal. So it never dawned on me until that day I was sitting on board the yacht. I had just, purchased it, and I'm trying to finalize the name, and I'm thinking this yacht has more bedrooms and bathrooms than 3 of the houses I grew up in.
Incredible.
And so, and I just thought about how, you have in life and business, what stopped most people from achieving success are the obstacles. Everyone start off with an idea, and they're passionate about the idea, and they really want to make that idea become a reality. But when you start to execute the idea, and you start to realize that it's not as easy as you thought it was, and you start to hit a brick wall, and you start to run into obstacles, and things don't go your way, it's that stick-to-itness, that consistency, that never give up piece and component that make you stay the course and become successful. And so I thought about all of those challenges and what that meant, and I said, self-made. Not that I did it by myself. There was always a team, God being first, but always a team and family around me to help me. But we got it, what we say, out the mud. You got it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so that's where the name comes from.
Now, we just have a few minutes left, and so I just want to ask you about the P3 Group, Inc. Just give us an update. Do you have some exciting programs and projects that you have? Tell us a little bit about that. And then I want to talk a little bit about the Brown Foundation with the last moments that we have, too.
Sure. And so what I'll do is try to sum both of them up together. So the P3 Group, right now, we have a number of projects. We're working on a world-class healthcare facility in Marianna, Arkansas. We completed a healthcare facility about a year ago in another community in Arkansas, which was ranked one of the number one community healthcare facility in the state of Arkansas. But that is important in that being able to do projects that provide critical services to meet the needs of the citizens of those communities that we operate in is what we're all about. We also have a student housing project with Southeast Arkansas College, 171 beds, just came online this fall. That's and awesome. This is the first student housing project that the college has ever had. And the first 86 students that came to that housing project came from out of state. And they've never had students from out of state because there was never housing.
Now, are you still doing the attack on hunger through the foundation? Are you still supporting HBCUs?
Oh, absolutely. So as part of the Southeast Arkansas College project, we're endowing $7 million back to Southeast Arkansas College in a joint partnership on the housing project. Awesome. And that's part of our affordable housing initiative. Our Attack on Hunger program, we're still donating to community food pantries. We're in year 2 of a 5-year commitment to Arkansas State Mid-South, where we have adopted their food pantry. We have, as far as HBCUs are concerned, we're heavily involved with HBCUs. We have a $150,000 endowment at Jackson State University.
Awesome.
We're being honored actually next week as part of their legacy wall, where they're going to permanently put the name of companies and individuals who have provided substantial support to their foundation and the institution.
And where's the last place that you had the P3 performed by the 10 Grand for Your Band initiative?
So UAPB, University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, just a couple weeks ago for the Southern Heritage Classic, did the P3 in the field at halftime. And that's actually the second time that the UAPB has done the P3 in the field, and it's part of an initiative we call 10 Grand for Your Band, where we've had Alcorn State University perform it. We've had Jackson State University perform it. We have made significant contributions to Florida A&M, Kahoma Community College, and the list goes on and on. But we're very, very passionate about HBCUs because we realize how important HBCUs are to communities of color, because not everyone recognize that these institutions for more than 150 years have served our communities and served them very well. They're not perfect institutions by a long shot, but they lack and have been significantly underfunded. And so when you can bring back private sector dollars and put back into those institutions, oftentimes it helps fill the gap to help them get to the next level.
Well, in the last 60 seconds that we have, I am curious, and I know all the viewers are curious to know, what's next for Dee Brown CEO?
Well, there are so many things that percolate in my mind every day that I really can't say definitively what the next project is. Obviously, we're developing a 188 home subdivision right now that we feel like is going to help the city of Marion, Arkansas, meet some critical housing shortages needs within that community. But
you just never know. The sky's the limit. Well,
Stay tuned.
I have a saying and you have a saying. My saying is, if you have just one shot, make it self-made. But you have a way of closing out this show. And so even though I'm your guest host, Omarosa Manigault Newman, I'm going to allow Dee Brown to have the last word because...
To my viewers, thank you for watching this episode of Self-Made. I'm Dee Brown CEO, and remember, without you, there's no me.